So Aaron's in a galaxy far, far away. I'm Josh, and this is Talking Points. So what's up, everybody, and welcome to another week of ToC goodness. Let's get things started with our weekly recap. All week we've been wreaking havoc, saving the Mushroom Kingdom in the Super Mario Brothers, which is part of the All-Stars pack. During this adventure, we've had some fun, sang some songs, and even found out a little too much about Aaron and Vin Diesel's secret relationship. That's not really a dungeon I want to send my dragon into. Let's see, Aaron also continued his quest to save Bandage Girl as Meat Boy, and I think he's starting to get a little bit ragey. And I know what is still in store for him in the later chapters of the game, so things should start getting real hilarious pretty soon. And with the new Star Wars coming out this week, we took some time and sat down to share our theories and predictions. And if you want to check that out, it'll be in the annotation at the end of this episode, as well as the description below and the little card slider thing that comes up in the top right corner over here. We got a little carried away in the video though, so it's about an hour long, but make sure you watch it all because there's some really good theories in there, and some of them are so good they might even be potential spoilers. Shh. But I guess we'll find out what all really happens in a few more days. Now that the video recap is done, let's see what else is going on in Triforce Chaos World. Some of you have probably noticed the lack of streaming over the last few weeks. When we switched over to this new format, we decided that it would be best to put streaming on the back burner for a while. We have been talking though, so streaming will return at some point after the beginning of 2016, so be on the lookout for that. The next big news is Triforce Chaos Productions has expanded and is now part of ToC Studios. Along with that, we've just launched our brand new website, but much of the site is still under construction, and a couple of areas are operational, but we're still working on it. Some of those areas include the forums where you can sign up and post all kinds of stuff like ideas for shows, game suggestions, whatever. So make sure you head over to ToCstudios.com, should be right here, and at least sign up for the forums. The link for the brand new website will also be in the description of this and all future videos. So check it out, tell your friends, all that good stuff. So now that all the channel news is done, let's move into this week's mobile game madness. This is my first time doing MGM, so I'm gonna try to keep it simple because I honestly don't play that many mobile games. This week's game is available on iOS and Android devices, and it's called Tofu Fury. I actually told Aaron about this game a couple of weeks ago, but I guess he really couldn't find it. But anyway, you play as like this piece of ninja tofu dude thing, and you beat each level by collecting a certain number of orbs. It's got kind of a slight Angry Birds feel to it because you got to do the whole pullback slingshot aiming style thing. And unlike Angry Birds though, Tofu Ninja Dude can also stick to the ceilings and the walls as well as do like this walkie thing. And the walking comes in handy because it lets you get through tight spaces or set up a better angle for your next launch. For the most part, this is a pretty good game in my opinion. It does have a couple of drawbacks though. One drawback is sometimes the walk commands are not as responsive as they should be. And by this I mean that I will try to walk and the command is such an odd input that I will accidentally launch into some instant death spikes. Not cool. My other complaint is that the tutorial areas can be kind of long and boring. But even with all that, I think this game still deserves a 4 out of 5. Like I said, it's available on iOS and Android devices, so make sure you go check that out. Now I suppose it's time to bring in the fancers to last week's talking points. So last week's talking point was, what is the weirdest game you've ever played? And we didn't really get too many answers this week, but Taylor started things off with Goat Simulator, South Park Stick of Truth, and Catherine. The only one of those three that I've played is South Park Stick of Truth, and I'll agree that there are definitely some scenes that push the limits. Then Will brought The Binding of Isaac into play. That game is fucking weird. But those are the only two fancers we got this week, and as always, Aaron answered his in the last episode, so I guess it's time for my answer. I would have to say it's a toss-up between Beautiful Katamari and Sewer Shark. I still have no fucking clue what was going on in Beautiful Katamari or why everything was so adhesive. And Sewer Shark was like this cheesy-ass B-movie from like the 80s that somehow became a game. It wasn't really a movie, but that's the feel that it had. And I'm fairly certain that Sewer Shark was the reason that Sega CD was so short-lived. And that, plus the new Star Wars coming out, brings us to this week's talking point. What is the best movie-based game that you've played? It can be a direct or indirect adaptation as long as it's movie-based. Like, for me, I think that Star Wars Rogue Squadron for the original Nintendo 64 is dead on with the story that could be part of a movie. Or at least a spin-off. The gameplay is solid, and there are plenty of moments that are just as immersive as a good action movie. So, yeah, that's it for this week's episode. I know it was kind of short, but make sure you answer this week's Talking Points question in the comments below, on our Facebook or Twitter, or you can head over to ToCstudios.com and answer on the forums. And just for shiggles and gits, comment below and let us know if you're going to see the new Star Wars movie. I'm pretty sure I'll be back next week because Aaron's hyperdrive is busted. So until then, keep talking. Did you enjoy watching that video? If so, you can click somewhere up here on this Destiny poster to watch another video. And if you want to subscribe, you can click on this toilet paper for all of our other crap.